Hearing that your child is being bullied, it's one of a parent's biggest fears. It can feel so overwhelming, and you might not know where to even start. Well, in South Africa, this is a tough reality for way too many families, but I want you to know you are not helpless. The whole point of this guide is to give you a clear, step-by-step plan to handle this and, most importantly, protect your child. So let's get right into it. First, let's just take a moment to understand the scale of what we're talking about. 3.2 million. That is the estimated number of learners in South Africa who face bullying every single year. It's a shocking number, isn't it? But it tells us two things. One, this is a massive systemic problem. And two, if your child is going through this, they are sadly not alone. Now, a lot of the framework for this guide comes from some excellent research, including from groups like Gifted Children South Africa. But I need to be really clear. This advice is for everyone. Because bullying doesn't care if a child is gifted or struggles in class or is tall or is short. Any perceived difference at all can make a child a target. So this is for every single parent and every single child. Okay, here's our roadmap. We've laid this out to be as straightforward as possible. First, we'll quickly look at the crisis itself. Then, we'll talk about your immediate response at home, what you do first. After that, we cover how to properly engage the school, what to do when the school's response just isn't good enough, and finally, we'll get into the powerful legal and support tools you have. So, let's kick off with Section 1, understanding the scale of South Africa's bullying crisis, because you really have to know what you're up against to fight it effectively. So, that 3.2 million number we saw, as big as it is, it's probably just the tip of the iceberg. Research shows that up to 2/3 of all bullying incidents actually go unreported. And why is that? It usually comes down to fear. Kids are scared they won't be believed, or even worse, that telling an adult will just make the bullying more intense. This silence, this reporting gap, is a huge part of the problem. And that brings us to the most important section, your role. Let's talk about your first response, because before you even pick up the phone to call the school, the most critical work has to happen right there at home with you and your child. I want you to memorize these words. I believe you. This is not your fault. We will handle this together. You need to say this, and you need to mean it. For a child who feels alone, ashamed, and terrified, hearing these words from you is everything. It cuts through all that fear, and it creates a safe space for them to tell you what's really going on. Honestly, this is the most powerful first step you can take. Okay, so after you've said those magic words, your next actions break down into 3 simple things. Number 1, listen. I mean, really listen, without jumping in with solutions or judgments. Number 2, and this is so important, document everything. And number 3, empower your child with safe ways to respond while you take care of the bigger fight. So let's get practical. What does that actually look like? Well, do teach them simple, assertive things to say, like a firm "stop that," and then to just walk away. It takes the power away from the bully. And do, from day 1, keep a detailed log. Now for the don'ts, please don't tell your child to fight back. That can get them hurt or in trouble. Also, don't say just ignore it, because that tells them their feelings don't matter. And a really big one, do not contact the bully's parents yourself. It almost never works, and it can make things so much worse. Right. Now we're moving on to Section 3, engaging the school. You've supported your child, you've started gathering your notes. Now it's time to bring the school into the loop. But you have to do this the right way, formally and methodically, if you want to see real results. And this, right here, this is your leverage. The South African Schools Act is not just some dusty old document. It is the law. It legally requires every single school to provide a safe learning environment for your child. They must have a code of conduct that addresses bullying. So remember, when you approach them, you're not asking for a favor. You are demanding they uphold their legal duty of care. Okay, so there is a process to follow. You always start with the class teacher. Give them a chance to handle it. But if nothing changes quickly, you have to escalate to the principal. And here is the absolute key. You must do it in writing. An email or a formal letter creates a paper trail that they can't ignore. If that still doesn't work, your next stop is the school governing body, the SGB. So what do you put in that letter or email to the principal? You need to be specific. You attach your log of incidents, you formally request a meeting, you ask for a copy of their official code of conduct, and you demand a written action plan with a timeline explaining exactly what they are going to do. This forces them to move from vague promises to concrete actions. But what if you do all of this? You follow every step, and the school fails. They drag their feet or their solution doesn't work. I know how maddening that can be. But please, don't give up. This is not the end of the road. Let's get into Section 4, your escalation pathways. This timeline makes the path forward really clear. See, you've already reported it to the school, and then you went to the SGB. If you're hitting a brick wall there, your next official step is to go over their heads to the Provincial Department of Basic Education. And as you can see, beyond that, you still have powerful legal and external actions you can take. So yeah, this is your next move. You gather up your entire paper trail, your log, your emails to the school, and you formally report the school's inaction to your Provincial Department of Basic Education, or DBE. That helpline number on the screen is also a fantastic national resource. This takes your complaint to a whole new level of seriousness. Which brings us to our final section, and it's a really empowering one, your legal and support toolkit. These are the tools that exist outside of the school system, and they can offer you and your child a whole other layer of protection. Let's just quickly walk through these because they are so important. If the bullying has crossed into criminal acts like assault, theft, or serious threats, you go to the police and you open a case. For immediate safety, you can go to the magistrate's court for a protection order. For you and your child's mental health, Childline is there 24/7 with free counseling. And if you think you have a case against a negligent school, you can talk to organizations like Legal Aid or Section 27. I just want to pause on the protection order for a second because it is an incredibly powerful tool. Under the law, a court can issue an order that makes it illegal for the bully to contact, harass, or even come near your child. This isn't a school detention we're talking about. It's a legal order from a judge, and if they violate it, they can be arrested. It creates a real enforceable shield around your child. So we've gone through all these different steps and options, but if you take away only one single thing from our time together, please let it be this. Your most powerful tool is a paper trail. From the very first moment you suspect something is wrong, document everything. Dates, times, witnesses, what was said, what was done, who you spoke to. This evidence is the fuel for every other step in the process. It's everything. And we'll end here with a bigger question. Following all these steps is absolutely vital for protecting your child right now in a crisis. But the long-term challenge for all of us, parents, educators, community members, is how do we stop just reacting to bullying? How do we start building school cultures that are so full of kindness and respect that bullying just can't find the oxygen to survive?
Like, comment, and subscribe.